Hello again, I'm Burt Goldman, and this is the third in our series on affluence. We don't really have that much time in these short little vignettes, about 5-6 minutes, so I really want to get right down to the nub and to the gist of the thing, and give you actual techniques. Never mind this business of guilt is in the way, and your attitude, and your poverty consciousness and affluence. What does all that mean? And how can I do it? Well, why is it that some people who appear to be stupid have millions, sometimes billions, and sometimes highly intelligent, very, very aggressive, assertive people broke? What is it? What is this consciousness that we're talking about? What is poverty consciousness? What is the consciousness of affluence? Let me change that consciousness business. Let's call it something else. Let's call it attitude. And let's say, instead of a poverty consciousness, a poverty attitude. Well, what's an attitude? It's the way you look at things. Why do you look at things in the manner in which you do? Sometimes you can't help it. Yes, there are things in your past that are creating havoc with some people's lives, not necessarily yours, but with some people's lives. What is this business? Well, I prefer to say that it is a rhythmic thing. Now, what does that mean? We all have a certain rhythm. You've heard me say that before. What is a rhythm? A rhythm is an energy. Now, I can best show you that rhythm by demonstrating and having you demonstrate also. And perhaps when you put the three videos together, you'll have it. You'll know exactly how to gain that affluent consciousness. Let's get back to this rhythm. What is rhythm? Well, rhythm would be dum-dum-da-dum. Music is rhythm, of course. But what's that got to do with poverty? What's that got to do with affluence? Well, let me show you something. Think about a particular food, let's say. Well, I'll do it right now. I'll think about a food that I like. Now, I have a different rhythm, different consciousness, if you will, for food that I like as opposed to food that I don't like. I'm thinking of a food that I enjoy. I like most foods. I'm thinking of, well, whatever. It's a food that I like. I'm thinking of it right now. And my rhythm, I'll just tap it out. That's my rhythm for a food that I like. Now let me think about a food that I don't like. What don't I? I like most foods. So boiled brains. Some people eat them. Sounds disgusting. But now I'm thinking about boiled brains. Now you notice my rhythm is totally different. You can actually tap out your rhythm for different things. You try it, you'll see. Now, the interesting part is, do this with food, and you'll see how to do it with affluence also. Think about a food, not boiled brains. I don't want anybody eating boiled brains, but think about a food, let's say, I did this in one of my classes. There was a fellow who ate steak all the time. He was eating steak 3 times a day, and his doctor told him to cut it out. And I asked him, well, what is it that you want to eat? He said, well, at least for breakfast, I'd like to eat oatmeal. And I said to him, you mean you eat steak for breakfast? He says, every day. I says, well, and you want to eat oatmeal? He said, yeah, but I don't like oatmeal. I said, well, let's see if we can change your rhythm. I said, just tap on your thigh. I'm tapping up here so you could see it. I said, think about steak and tap out your rhythm. And he's thinking about steak, and he's tapping about like so, about 3 times a second. Everybody's rhythm is a little bit different. Okay, I said, that's fine. Now, how about oatmeal? Yeah, I don't care for it. It's okay, tap out your rhythm for oatmeal. And he's going, usually the things you don't like are slower, but it differs. It's different with everyone. It could be faster for you. And he's tapping like this for oatmeal. And I said, okay, now we're going to change your rhythm because you want to eat oatmeal, don't you? He says, yeah, I'd love to eat it in the morning anyway. I said, okay. Now, once again, tap out your rhythm for steak. And he's going like this. I said, okay, remember that rhythm. Now think about oatmeal. But when you think about oatmeal, tap out the rhythm for steak. And he's thinking about oatmeal and he's going like this, tapping out the rhythm for steak. Just like that, he changed. comes in the next day. This was in San Francisco, by the way, with all kinds of great places to eat. Comes in the next day. It was a weekend class. This was on Saturday. Comes in on Sunday. Looks at the class. He says, you'll never guess what I had for dinner last night. Oatmeal. He says, I love it. He just changed his rhythm. Now that little vignette tells you a lot because you have a rhythm for affluence also. Think about a time when you were very, very poor. Let's say you didn't have any money. Now, you may have to go back to the time you were 6, 7 years old. There was a time in your life when you didn't have any money. Thinking about money when you didn't have any, tap out your rhythm. Now, there was also a time in your life when you did pretty good. You might have had a good week. You might have had a good year, a good day. Something happened where you made what you considered at the time a fair amount of money. Think about that and tap out your rhythm. That's your affluent rhythm. That's your affluent consciousness. Now, how can you use that? Once you establish the rhythm for your consciousness of affluence, in the morning when you get up, now you don't have to do this all the time. You'll be tapping yourself until everybody around you think you're crazy. Just in the morning and at night before you go to, well, no, I would leave it for the morning. At night, you don't want a rhythm of affluence. You want to go to sleep. That's a whole different rhythm. So in the morning when you get up, the first thing you do, you tap out on your thigh, on the tabletop. It doesn't matter where. Tap out your rhythm for affluence. How long? 30 seconds usually does it. And that's it. Now, does that sound foolish? Try it for food. You'll see that it isn't foolish. It works. The main thing for you skeptics, you people who do think it's foolish, here's the main thing. Ask only one question. Does it work? If it works, use it. Don't try to fix it. If it works, use it. And I can tell you for a fact, it does work. It may not work the first time, although it probably will for food. Now, it's not going to suddenly uncork the rainbow for you, but it may after a bit. And then again, it may. I have had people tell me using this technique that all of a sudden they discovered money that they didn't even know they had. And it happened immediately. So give it a whirl. And if it works, let me know. This is the last of the series. I'll be having another series soon. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about in your comments, and I'll be happy to include it in our next series of 3. We'll call them the trios, the video trios. That's it for now. This is Burt Goldman. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the sessions. Have a good day, have a good week, a good month, and a wonderful and successful and affluent 2009. Thank you very much for being with me for this short time. I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.